Good morning. Today is Tuesday, October 28th, 2014, and this is Before the First Cup with Lady Pitbull and Zorie on UCY.TV. Good morning, lady.
Hi, sorry I coughed into the mic just now.
That's okay.
Whoopsie! Oh my.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm getting better. Every day I'm getting a little better. Feeling a little.
Time.
I mean, I worked out hard last night, so I did like 60 burpees in my self-defense class.
Holy moly. That's a lot.
And it was, I was supposed to do 100, and I couldn't get there.
It's too cold.
It was it was like over an hour and a half time span. Everybody else did it, I didn't. I gotta get back into it.
Yeah,
but it's, what Lori was just talking about these stupid
women.
Bitches. I'm gonna call them bitches because that's what they are.
Why don't we just teach men not to rape? Now, tell me, how do you do that?
You don't do that. It's like teaching a dog not to pee or take a poo. I mean, what? Let's
teach people not to rob each other, and let's teach people not to lie to each other. This is going to solve our problems.
Right. Yeah. I mean, maybe if you want to like give them like massive amounts of drugs so that they're just drooling in a corner, that might solve the problem. But I'm not, for one, going to be doing any of that. Is this
what we're teaching our girls?
Yeah, absolutely. I have, let's see, this is going to be my second year doing Commando Krav Maga, and I love it. I'm like more addicted to it than I was the CrossFit. And I didn't think that I would like, close contact sports or whatever, but I absolutely love it. It's great, and we learn like groundwork, and if you're
self-confidence, and then you protect yourself.
It's true. There's a guy, I don't know, in Detroit, and he strangled his wife to death, and I'm just going, how in the hell you can allow that to happen? I mean, the guy's big. Okay, I saw him on TV. The dude's big, all right? But, and I know some guys are like so damn strong that, I mean, and it doesn't take long once you're, especially if they grab you across both sides of your neck where the arteries are, you'll black out like within like less than a minute. Like if somebody get you in a sleeper hold or something. But I mean, bite and kick in the nuts. I mean, I don't care what you got to do to inflict pain on your attacker. I mean, you're trying to kill me, dude. I'm gonna scratch your eye out until it's jelly in my hand. That's what I'm gonna do.
Why aren't we teaching our girls that instead of this oh, you know, putting it all, you know, like so helpless. I mean, how I'd be scared to go everywhere if I thought like that.
Well, I think that's what they want. I think they want everybody to be so afraid of leaving their homes that so it'll be a whole lot easier to impose martial law, and that nobody will come out and nobody will, you know what I mean, be brave enough to.
And like, oh, well, the cops are there to protect you. How many rapes do you know of that the cops were there to protect them? They come afterwards to take a report.
Right. Yeah, that's about it. And to take like samples or what.
Mm-hmm. That never get looked at. Yeah, that I could not believe it. I was just sitting here going, what the hell? Right. These are from young women saying that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like there's some politically correct agenda that, you know, I mean...
It's the same people that don't want us to have guns to protect ourselves.
Right. The lady who said that, you know, everybody should learn self-defense definitely didn't win that contest. So
and you would think she would, I would think.
Well, yeah, absolutely, because you want, you know, a strong woman. But no, we have to have the politically incorrect, like, wet noodle, like... stupid wench up there that's, you know, easily programmable, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you get the 4th degree taekwondo lady there that, like, really probably should deserve that Miss America crown. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? No, we just, you know, we have to, like, worship the opposite of it, and it's just a stupid mind control crap.
Well, in this era of don't offend anyone, you don't want to offend your rapist or you know.
Exactly. That's a really good point.
It's crazy.
You don't want to hurt your attacker's feelings. Oh my God, that's terrible. They might sue you
or cry. You know,
they might cry.
This not wanting to offend someone is really beginning to get on my nerves. I mean, you see it everywhere.
Right. What's the solution to that? Offend everyone.
Yeah. Be that obnoxious person.
That's right. I agree.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly. I mean, I don't know. I'm not afraid to walk down the street in Detroit, and I know I've told that story like one of the last times I was there when I was like at a concert, and I went to go get some. I was like right in Greektown, like right in that area. So I'm like, shoot, I'm gonna go get some Saganaki, and then at 2:30 in the morning, I was actually at an Iced Earth show, and this was like last spring, and 'cause they rock, John Schaefer. And these pimps walked by me, these guys. It was like 4 of them, and they were all like dressed like in 70s, like polyester and stuff.
Like with a plume hat.
Yeah. I'm like,
oh God,
these are some real ass pimps right here. And they were like, hey baby, and I'm like, what's up? Come on, man, I'll take all 4 of you on. You know what I mean? That's what I was thinking in my mind, anyway.
There's such a thing as being overconfident.
Well, right, but I mean, you know what, really, I mean, what I've learned, like, growing up and stuff, like actually using Detroit as my playground when I turned 18, because I found a bar down there that would actually serve to me. Yahoo! And so yeah, every freaking weekend I was in Detroit. But if you act more crazy than your attacker, they're gonna be, oh my god, I ain't fun with this bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, just do. You don't even have to. And I was never physically active growing up or anything, and I certainly wasn't in fit condition. But I mean, all you got to do is just act more
attitude.
Crazy. Yeah, and you know, I always had my combat boots and my leather jacket. You know, and everywhere I went, I wouldn't go down to Detroit without those two very essential things.
Combat gear?
No, combat boots. You know, my Doc Martens and my leather coat. And so it's appearance. You know, if you're out there in like pink sandals, have a purse.
Well, it's not only that's not necessarily true either, because I always dressed mini skirts and that, but I always had, you know, my means of being, you know, equality, I guess you call it, or my means of take care of myself. I think what they watch for, not so much of how you're dressed and stuff, but if you're aware, if you look like you know what's going on around you, you don't look like a victim. I don't think it has anything to do with the way you're dressed.
I just think I do, actually. Yeah. I really honestly do. I mean, because, I mean, Detroit is Detroit, right? And
but yeah, I never grew up.
If you're like a purse, just, I don't care what kind of purse, a purse like a fanny pack, you know, it makes you look like a victim. I've never carried a purse. I always carry everything on me, like close
well, it could be a weapon too, according to how much what you carry in.
Well, sure, you got a nice 10-pound brick in there. Hell yeah, you know. But I'm just saying, if you're wearing like, you know, pink purse and sandals in the middle of Detroit, you're probably going to get mugged.
Oh, okay.
You know, more readily than me, like not having any weapons on me, but wearing, you know, combat boots and a black leather jacket ready to kick your ass. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying that's it. There's streetwise, and you know, it's just being streetwise, really. I mean, aware of your surroundings, and I've always been like that. So I guess that's why this Commando Krav Maga is so appealing to me, is because now I've actually got, you know,
the shit to stand behind that awareness.
That's right, absolutely. And really, it's for the most part, it's you really don't have to be that strong in order to get out from under a 400-pound guy.
Yeah, it's all according to the moves.
Well, not even the moves. I mean, if you just like know your pressure points, like right up behind your ear, underneath your earlobe, you push real hard right there. I mean, if you take your thumb and jab somebody right at that spot, you're going to get them off of you.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, just push your finger right underneath your ear, right underneath your earlobe, and push hard. And
I don't want to pass out.
It hurts. Another is the jugular notch. You take your pointy finger and your index finger, that is your index finger, and you stick it right where the hole in your neck is and push hard. I mean, if you had somebody on top of you strangling you, all you got to do is, like, as hard as you can, stick your fingers in that jugular notch, and I can guarantee you they will jump off of you.
Well, what about the Adam's apple, the men's Adam's apple? I always heard that if you hit that real hard.
Yeah, but you have to come at that with a strike.
Oh.
Yeah, that...
See, there's a lot, I don't know. I'm small, and I've never really been, you know, a physical type. Yeah.
Another cool thing to do with a strike is to cup your hands, like in a cup position, and like hit both ears. Bam! The right way, so that you create like a suction, and that screws up their whole equilibrium. And if you do it hard enough, I mean, you could like knock them right down. That's an interesting one. There's all kinds of cool stuff that you can do. I mean, biting, scratching of the eyes. real basic stuff. It's not like I'm giving any weird secrets away, but it's all real basic common sense. And if somebody's literally wants to inflict harm upon you, then you got to do anything you possibly can. I mean, and anything, if you're like out in the street, you grab something to, like a key or something, to start whacking this sucker with.
That's the answer. Yeah, women have to stop being victims.
Yeah, and the only way to do that is to learn how not to be one. And
right. And they don't teach that in school.
They don't. They teach you to bring your stupid different color purses each day to match your freaking clothes, and they, you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. So
yeah, it's just like, I think children, like by the first grade or whatever, should be taught firearm safety.
Absolutely, I agree.
Ignorance kills.
Yes,
and I say that over and over. At my daughter, if she was at someone else's house and the other kid was going to get a gun, she would stop them because she was educated enough to know that's dangerous.
Exactly. It's very true. And she wouldn't be dumb enough if she knew how to use all the weapons properly. She's not going to be dumb enough to go and like, oh, I'm at my friend's house. Look, there's a gun over there. I'm going to mess with it. She wouldn't do that.
I mean, we would walk into the house and lay our guns on the coffee table without even a thought of a child picking them up.
Absolutely.
Because they were all taught, and before they got their BB gun, they had to go through a test.
Yes.
And just like if they were in school, they had to answer the questions right and know gun safety before they ever got their first BB gun.
That's right. Now, I just saw, I think it was yesterday or something, this poor Indian kid that, like, shot up all those people, all of his friends at school. They were showing pictures of his Facebook where he posted on there. I guess the kid was like 17. And, look, my parents got me this awesome gun for my birthday, you know what I mean? Which wasn't used in the shooting, by the way. But he, when it showed him, the next picture was him, like, getting a really nice, like, buck, and then so he was obviously schooled in the use of firearms.
So what their point is, don't teach your children about guns because they're going to grow up
yeah, pretty much. And this is what the media is really trying to glaze everybody's brain with this garbage that's out there that they're floating around. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's again, be a victim,
right?
And I'm sure that his being taught how to use a weapon is not what drove him to go do that.
No, not at all. I can guarantee that.
Yeah,
he used a pistol, I guess, so it's not even a rifle.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just no one will ever convince me that gun safety should not be taught to a child, and the earlier the better.
And the earlier the better. I totally agree with that.
And some people are like, oh, well, I have my gun well hidden way up in the closet. Let me tell you, kids get wherever they want to get.
Sure.
There isn't nowhere safe.
I mean, when I was, maybe 3, I must have crawled up onto the cabinet and, like, got the sugar and poured it all over the kitchen. I got to it. It was on the top shelf.
Right, kids can crawl. They'll find a way if they want to get somewhere. So really, the only way to protect your child is to educate your child.
That's right. I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's like my friend. She got arrested for having a gun in her top drawer.
Drawer?
Yeah, in her dresser.
What?
And yeah, for child endangerment because the child could reach the dresser. And, I told her, she pled guilty because she was scared. But because they said, well, you know how they threaten you. Oh, well, we're going to send you away for 12 years and you won't see your kids and this and that. So she bowed under. I told her, you should have said not guilty and had all of us go testify that that child was taught gun safety, and there's no way in hell that kid would have opened that drawer and pulled that gun.
Right.
You know.
That's right.
But, yeah, so.
But you're never going to get, like, CPS to reason in that manner. Mm-hmm. Ever. Right. I've been involved with helping to teach self-defense to a women's class, and a lot of these, because it's through like a community education program, which is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool setup now. There's a lot of high school gals that are out there, and high school gals that are seniors getting ready to go to college. If they learn some of these moves, like gun and knife disarming, they absolutely stand a better chance of defending themselves.
And date rape and situations.
And so I'm pretty confident that, and this last class, they're like 6 weeks long, and they're called Fight Like a Girl. And in this last class, there was one particularly really, really mousy gal. Real, introverted and, glasses and the little geeky, quiet type,
Mm-hmm.
She ended up doing pretty good by the end of that 6 weeks.
She got her self-confidence.
It's absolutely possible. And then there was this other gal that she came to the actual real class. She was very, very mousy, and you could barely hear what she was. When she spoke, you'd have to really strain to hear her, and she just was so scared about everything. She took the course for 6 months. By the end of that 6 months, she was ready to go to college, and I can guarantee she was a badass. She got real good. I mean, she actually helped me test for my level 1 test. She was like my partner, and she ended up, being really good, and by the end of the 6 months, she was speaking like a normal person and, going out and doing stuff and getting ready for college, and she was a completely different person. And
self-confidence is amazing.
Transformation of these young gals, going off to college, and it works. The stuff, if you stick with it.
Exactly.
So it's pretty cool. I'm you there, Zorie?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, she must have stepped away for a minute. That's okay. But
I'm here.
I mean, the point being is that it's absolutely possible, and I agree. If you're teaching, I mean, I wouldn't really teach a toddler how to hold a rifle or anything like that, but you need to be teaching them right from the get-go that, these are dangerous and you stay away and only an adult must help you. But like by the time kids are like, 6, 7 years old and starting to go to school, they can start learning about the firearm safety. Absolutely. And you can be showing stuff when they're babies and toddlers. You can totally be, putting the safety ear muff things on and, having them at a safe distance and getting them used to like the blast and stuff. You can, it's, it's totally possible to teach young people how to defend themselves. So all these weirdos that were seeing all those tweets at this stupid, idiotic Miss America pageant, I don't know. There was this really, really ditzy gal that I met. She came over to a buddy of mine's house a couple Saturdays ago. She was blonde, but man, I almost thought she was like some undercover cop, because no one can be this stupid. I mean, I've never met anybody so dumb about just everything. We were like laughing at her like out in the open, and she was just, she didn't get what we meant. and it was just so bizarre. And then she saw the gun in the corner, and she's like getting all scared and stuff. I mean, it was just ridiculous. She was just terrified. She just stared at the gun once she realized there was a gun in the room, and it was just a stupid little shotgun in the corner, you know, right where it always hangs out. And she was petrified, and we were all just like laughing, you know. And I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's like some people are just scared of guns.
Like that in my life. The kids had this little duck game where the little magnetic ducks like cruise over this like stupid like piece of plastic pond that turns, you know, it turns and the ducks turn. You have to pick the ducks up, whatever. But she turned this thing on and she was scared of that. Like her hand gestures were like, oh my god, ah! You know, I'm just like laughing from across the table going, you have got to be kidding me, right? I mean, is this an act? Are you really like scared of a child's toy? I mean, my God.
Well, they're teaching that in school.
Honestly, I've never met anybody like that. I could almost swear she was putting out an act. So, let's see here.
They, you know, like all the little kids at school, kindergarten.
Regardless. Let's see. Hey guys, am I on the air? Can somebody in the chat tell me if I'm on air? It looks like I'm on air. I can't hear Dodie. Let me try something here. Have I been just like talking and no one can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, and they say they can hear me in chat.
Nobody is talking. What's going on?
Weird. Okay, can you guys still hear me? Now, okay, you're on air.
Hang on, guys. Alright. Oh, I'm on. Oh, you can hear both of us? Wait, guys, okay, we hear Zorie and they hear me, but why can't I hear Zorie at all? That is really weird, man. This is like sending me into a weird, like, spot. Because I feel like I'm like talking like by myself here. Crazy.
I can't really talk.
I can't hear Zorie at all.
Without talking over you.
Bizarre. Here we go into the Twilight Zone. Oh my god. Alright. Oh my god. So what's up with this?
I don't know. This is crazy.
I don't know what to do. This is like the first time this kind of weird shit's been happening. I mean, that's crazy. I totally can't hear Zorie at all.
Okay, I'm gonna reboot my Skype.
Can you hear me? Sorry, guys. It's just like Twilight Zone weird, man. I don't want to disconnect from the network. Okay. Zorie's gonna reboot, and I will stay with you, good people. Hey, everybody in the chat room. Doll just joined us. Hey, Doll. How you doing? Joe Friday just joined us, too. What's up, Joe? I love all you guys in the chat. You guys are awesome. Let's see. Alright. I guess she's gonna try and join. It's gonna be really weird to, like, do the show if I can't hear Zorie and what she's saying. That's bizarre that you guys can hear both of us, but we can't hear each other. That is a trip and a half. Alright, let's see. I'm gonna try and get her to come back here. Alright, let's see. See what happens. Hopefully I can hear her. I bet you it's Skype, man. Skype is just like they're like prodding me for like an upgrade. So, and it always like freaks me out when they start asking and prodding for upgrades, because what the hell do you really want to upgrade, dude? I just always, I don't know. And even my phone, they just have all these weird things that they add, so I just don't even want to do it. Hate those weird upgrades. And freaking one of these days it'll upgrade your mind and you won't even know what's happening. And bam, you're like stuck in your phone. Ah! So I'm on, let's see. Alright. I'm gonna bring her back in, see what happens. I think she just,
Okay, can you hear me?
She just, let's see, you there?
Yes.
And I can't hear you. What? Uh-oh. It's gonna be hard to do the show like this. That is a trip and a half. Oh my god. Alright, so say something. Can you hear me? I know you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
I absolutely can't hear her. This is a trip. Alright. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. Can you guys hear both of us still? Can you hear me now? That's right. Jax. That's crazy. This is nuts!
This doesn't make sense.
Oh, man. Well, I feel like I'm floating off into the ether all by myself. No! Oh, my God. Alright, guys.
Wow. I don't know what to do.
Alright, I'm asking her if she can hear me. No, Vince. I think, yeah, that's trip, man. How do we do, like, a show? Oh, alright, well, Zorie can hear me, but I can't hear you. And that's a trip. Well, maybe, I can see, Dodie, when you're speaking on your mic, because the little Skype thing lights up, but I can't hear anything you're saying, so, well, I don't know.
I don't know how, this has never happened before.
I don't know, dude.
Jules, where are you?
Shit. Maybe I should just start reading an article. And drone on. Oh my god. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think if Vince hosts that it's gonna... I mean... I guess we could try. But I mean, that would mean I would have to cut completely off the network. And maybe that's not such a great idea. So... They're saying let Vince host. Oh my god. So that means I'm going to have to cut the network off. Maybe not such a good idea. Yeah, I don't know. I could try and reboot. Could do that. Alright, I'll go on with the news, Zorie says. Sorry, guys. Oh my god. Alright, here's one. I'm just grabbing the first one I see here. It says Ebola can survive on surfaces for almost 2 months. Test reveals certain strains survive for weeks when stored at low temperatures. So here we go with the low temperature again. It says research claims certain strains of Ebola can remain on surfaces for 50 days. It survived the longest on glass surfaces stored at 39 degrees Fahrenheit. So, hey, there we go. Here comes the winner, everybody. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, well, perversion claims Ebola typically lives on a dry surface for hours, including doorknobs and tables. When stored in moist conditions, such as in mucus, this is extended. Survival time depends on the surface and the room temperature. Virus can be killed using household bleach, and people must come into direct contact with the sample risk infection. Yeah, right. I am not going to read any more of this because it's a bunch of bullshit. I just read the highlights on that. So 50 days on surfaces. Great. Dodie, are you still there? Probably not. Okay. Well, I'll just wing it, I guess. Yep. Just as I said, guys, I don't even know how many months ago I said this. 2, 3? Now, the mainstream media is starting to tout and starting to pawn off the idea of a Bush-Clinton ticket. Another Bush-Clinton ticket. Yes, aren't we so fortunate as to have a repeat of the same people, repeat of the same as Obama. They're no different, these people. So, I don't know. Don't say I didn't tell you so, but I told you so. And they're really trying to pound that in everybody's head, and by saying that Hillary is so far beyond anybody else in the Democratic Party right now that for sure she's going to be one of the candidates for president. And when they start saying that crap, you know that's what's going to happen. She's already been picked. She's already been groomed. She's already waiting to get her blood-dripping talons on this country and the rest of our money to put in her own coffers. She wants a bigger piece of the pie because she's not satisfied with one she's got. So, there you go there. Our leaders have been chosen for us, as usual. I don't even know why the hell there's voting anyway. Because it doesn't work. Let's see. I don't know, Zorie, are you there? Like, blink a couple times if you can hear me. Doesn't look like she's there. Oh, she's there. Let's see. Alright, sorry that you guys are hearing me type. I don't really have anything. I just kind of want to, like, chat, but it's really hard to chat when you can't hear the other person. Let's see. Well, here's one. Let's see. Here's one, guys. NSA surveillance limits turns to the court. So we might as well get some kind of an update on that, because while it's going through the courts, it's good to pay attention. Let's see. Alright. Yeah, that's right. Dodie says that they said that Snowden had an accomplice, which the FBI just raided that guy, apparently that last few days. So let me read this. It's good to be paying attention to it as it's going through the courts, like I just said. It says, while Congress mulls on how to curtail the NSA's collection of Americans' telephone records, impatient civil liberties groups are looking to legal challenges already underway in the courts to limit government surveillance powers. 3 appeals courts are hearing lawsuits against the bulk phone records program, creating the potential for an eventual Supreme Court review. Judges in lower courts, meanwhile, are grappling with the admissibility in terror prosecutions of evidence gained through NSA's warrantless surveillance. Advocates say the flurry of activity, which follows revelations last year by former NSA contractor Edward Snowden of once secret intelligence collection programs, show how a post-9/11 surveillance debate, once primarily hashed out among lawmakers in secret, is being increasingly aired in open court, not only in New York and in Washington, but also in places like Idaho and Colorado. The thing that is different about the debate right now is that the courts are much more of a factor in it, which they should be, said Jamal Jaffer, Deputy Legal Director at the ACLU. Before the Snowden disclosures, he said courts were generally regulated to the sidelines of the discussion. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Now the judges are poised to make major decisions on at least some of the matters in the coming months, which is good. This is what we need to pay attention to, like I said. Though it's unclear whether the Supreme Court will weigh in, the cases are proceeding at a time when the justices appear increasingly comfortable taking up digital privacy matters, including GPS tracking our cars and police searches of cell phones. The cases come at a critical turning point for the Supreme Court when it comes to the expectations of privacy in digital information, said university law professor Stephen Vladeck. Revelations that the government was collecting bulk phone records on millions of Americans who were not suspected of crimes forced a rethinking of the practice, and President Barack Obama has called for it to end. Yeah, right. Since then, the House has passed legislation that civil libertarians say did not go far enough. In the Senate, Vermont Democrat Patrick Leahy, the Judiciary Committee chairman, is seeking a vote on a stricter measure to ban bulk collection, which has bipartisan backing and support from the White House. Yeah, well, they need to do a lot more than that. As Congress considers the matter, the federal judiciary has produced divided opinions that are winding through the appeals. The New York-based Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals recently heard arguments in an appeal of a judge's opinion that upheld the program's legality. The D.C. Appeals Court hears arguments next week after a judge there found that the program is probably unconstitutional. What? He said it was probably unconstitutional. Give me a break. How about certainly unconstitutional? God, these wankers are just idiots. Anna Smith, a nurse in Idaho, who contends the program is unconstitutional and that bulk record collection violates her privacy rights, will soon have her appeal heard by the appeals court in the Ninth Circuit. Well, good. The stuff should be going through the darn courts. I don't know why it hasn't up till now. Separately, a Somali cab driver convicted in California of funneling money to a terror group is now challenging a phone records program that the government says was vital for his prosecution. Any court opinion before Congress takes action could influence the lawmakers' debate. Congress could also act first, but even if it clears up disputes about the government's statutory authority to collect bulk records, courts might still be left confronting constitutional questions. Do you think? Besides those cases, multiple defendants notified in the past year that the Justice Department had obtained NSA-derived evidence against them are now challenging the government. Good. At issue is a provision of the Foreign Intelligence. At issue is a provision of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, known as Section 702, which allows the government to collect communications of non-Americans located outside the U.S. for, quote, counterterrorism purposes. The program also sweeps up communications of U.S. citizens who have contact with overseas terror suspects. Right, so that just gives them the precedence that's being set, guys, so that they can just roll over everybody here. A judge in Oregon rejected the effort by Mohammed Mahood, I guess that's how you say it, a Somali American convicted of plotting to detonate a bomb at a Christmas tree relighting ceremony. Oh, that was like last year. To suppress such evidence and sentence him to 30 years in prison. That through that issue will likely resurface upon appeal. A similar defense request is pending in the Colorado case against Jamshid Montarov, who is charged with trying to provide material support to a Uzbek terror organization and wants information about government surveillance methods so he can charge their legality. In Chicago, a man charged with trying to ignite a bomb outside a bar is scheduled for trial next year after fighting unsuccessfully to see secret intelligence court records. Albanian citizen Argan Hasbazmari, who earlier admitted to trying to go to Pakistan to join radical jihadist insurgent group, recently withdrew his guilty plea in New York following the government's notification of how it obtained evidence in his case. Congressional supporters of limiting surveillance see an urgent need for action, of course they do, and say charges are better addressed through legislation better than litigation. Well, I don't disagree with that. Critical deadline is June 1st, 2015, when the section of the law authorizing the bulk records collection is set to expire. If no action is taken before then, that could lessen the chances of a Supreme Court review. Congress may also wind up acting first, which could resolve some of the outstanding statutory issues. The ACLU's Jaffer says he hopes that Congress will overhaul the program, but that the courts also have a natural role to play. I agree with that. To the extent that Congress is authorizing mass surveillance of Americans' telephone calls, the Constitution has something to say about that. Oh, do you think? And that only the courts are in a position to enforce the Constitution, he said. Yeah, I agree with that too. Alright, that's the end of that. Let's see. Do you want to read something, Dodie? Go ahead. I don't know if you can hear me or not. I don't see you talking. So, this is the weirdest show ever. And we've got another, hour and 10 minutes. And it's not going to be just me droning on, reading articles. I don't know. Guys, with all of these Muslim groups that the FBI sets up and has all these infiltrators and intelligence gatherers and NSA records and listening to the phone calls, it's just all okay. She's got one. All right, go for it. Yay.
Okay. Yeah, they're putting small businesses out of business. This one, IRS seizes hundreds of perfectly legal bank accounts and refuses to give the money back. Well, come on, scroll. There it goes. Okay. The Internal Revenue Service has been seizing bank accounts belonging to small businesses and individuals who regularly make deposits of less than $10,000, but broke no laws, and the government is refusing to return all the money taken. The practice, called civil asset forfeiture, allows IRS agents to seize property they suspect of being tied to a crime, even if no charges are filed and their agency is allowed to keep a share of whatever is forfeited. The New York Times reported it's designed to catch drug traffickers excuse me, and terrorists by tracking cash deposits under $10,000, which is the threshold for when banks are federally required to report activity to the IRS under the Bank Secrecy Law Act. Now, my comment on this, look at how often they use the drug war. It's not just about drugs. It's not. It's about our, all our rights. All they have to do is say drugs were involved and you're guilty automatically. This is nuts. And the government is using the drug war to rob us blind, to put us out of business. It's disgusting. And then the cops are doing it too. You get pulled over and they ask you if you have any money on you. Well, if you do, guess what? You can kiss your money goodbye because they're taking it. Because they think that you're going to buy drugs. Everything. Drugs. They can find, if they can't find an excuse to break in your house or search your house, what's the best excuse? Drugs. We were told drugs were there. And this has got to come to a stop. Now, okay, I'll continue on. But this really makes me angry that people are just letting them get away with this. Nobody's trying to stop them. The judges aren't going to, okay, like if a cop takes your money, you don't go into a regular court to get your money back. You go into this special courtroom where they only handle this, and you very seldom ever get your money back unless you have a good lawyer and you're rich. So most people just end up saying, well, and then when you do get it back, you usually don't get all of it back. They usually fine you for something or a fee for something, maybe holding it. But anyway, to go on, it is not illegal to deposit less than $10,000 in cash unless it is specifically done to avoid triggering the federal reporting requirements known as structuring. Thus, banks are required to report any suspicious transactions to authorities, including patterns of deposits that are below the threshold. Of course, these patterns are also exhibited by small businesses like bodegas and family restaurants whose cash on hand is only insured up to $10,000 and whose owners are weary of what would be lost in case of a robbery or a fire. Carol Henders, a victim of civil asset forfeiture, owns a cash-only Mexican restaurant in Iowa. Last year, the IRS seized her checking account and the nearly $33,000 in it. She told the Times she did not know of the federal reporting requirements for suspicious transactions and that she thought she was doing everyone a favor by reducing their paperwork. My mom had told me if you keep your deposits under $10,000, the bank avoids paperwork, she said. I didn't actually think it had anything to do with the IRS. And her bank wasn't allowed to tell her that her habits could be reported to the government. If customers ask about structuring their deposits, banks are allowed to give them a federal pamphlet. We're not allowed to tell them anything. Joel Stinkwick, the fraud and security managers for Henders Bank, told the Times. Last year, banks filed more than 700,000 suspicious activity reports, according to the Times. The median amount seized by the IRS was $34,000, according to an analyst by the Institute for Justice, while legal costs can easily mount to $20,000 or more, meaning most account owners can't afford to fight the government for their money. They're going after people who are really not criminals. David Smith, a former federal prosecutor who is now a forfeiture expert and lawyer in Virginia, told the Times they're middle-class citizens who have never had any trouble with the law. Rick Unger wrote that the practice amounts to nothing short of grand larceny on the part of the Internal Revenue Service in an article for Forbes. The Civil Asset Forfeiture Reform Act of 2000 came about after a Supreme Court case, Zorie LPB versus the United States, in which the government argued that because structuring is not the kind of activity that an ordinary person would engage in innocently, it was therefore reasonable to hold a structure reasonable for invading the reporting requirements without the need to prove specific knowledge that such an invasion is unlawful. But the court rejected that argument, citing the lawful actions of small business to reduce the risk of the IRS audit. Congress, believing that the decision would make it harder to find and to prosecute money launderers and drug dealers. According to the Washington Post blog, the Volkich, there it is, conspiracy. The legislature then removed the word willfully from the previous law about civil asset forfeiture, leaving us with the mess we now have. The Institute for Justice, a Washington-based public interest law firm that is seeking to reform civil forfeiture practices, analyzed structuring data from the IRS, which made 639 seizures in 2012, up from 114 in 2005. The Times reported only 1 in 5 was prosecuted as a structuring case. Think about that. A full 80% of the bank accounts emptied by the IRS in 2012 involved completely innocent people and businesses. How is that not a criminal enterprise? Now, what I wonder is it like the police department? When the police pull you over and take your money, they get to keep it all. So is the IRS keeping all that money? Are they doling it out to their employees? The money's got to go somewhere. Is there any record kept as to what they're doing with this money?
I can hear you now.
Oh, good. This is disgusting.
It is disgusting. I'm telling you, they're actually not doling it out to the rest of their employees. They're doling it out to their handlers, to the government.
But I mean, why isn't there? And I looked into civil asset forfeiture, and like I said, with law enforcement, they get to, some cases they keep every bit of it. In other cases, they keep 80% for themselves to buy whatever goodies they want around the cop shop. I mean, from martini machines, to new widescreen TV or whatever. They don't, no accountability. But I've never heard of where the money goes when the IRS does this. And so many businesses, little hamburger stands or whatever, they don't make enough to deposit over $10,000. A lot of them don't even know about the law.
It's a mafia thug organization. You will pay us, or that's it. And literally they're going after people that don't trust the banks, that want to keep their money, at home in a locked box, safe, whatever. It's
not even that though, because a lot of it, what they're doing is like this one lady, she doesn't have the money to hire a lawyer to go get her money back, and she's never been charged with a crime. So she's out of business. She has no way, no means of support now.
Right. I mean, this is who this is who they're going after.
And it's all in the name of drugs. Whenever, like I said, if they can't find a reason to charge you with anything, they'll come up with drugs.
Sure.
Every time.
Because unless it's like brand new from the bank, 90% of the money has drug residue all over it.
Yeah, they had to stop. Well, that's another thing. They had to stop using that as against people. But they also, a long time ago, you could, if you were on parole, you couldn't associate with anyone else that it was on parole or had been in trouble. They had to do away with that because so many people in the country now are on parole.
Right. It became a nightmare for them. Absolutely. It just makes me sick.
Yeah, and once the system gets their hooks on you, they do not want to let you go. Right
Uh-uh.
before your probation's up, they'll come and arrest you for something, or right before parole's up, they'll come and arrest you, violate you for some reason, just to keep their hooks in, because if you're on probation or parole, they can come in your home anytime they want and search.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And what a lot of people don't know, like say you've been put on probation and you were given a fine. Well, even if your probation is up, you're still on probation till that fine is paid 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's so many ways and so many corrupt cops and IRS agents, and they continue on, even with the scandals going on, even when, they know they're being watched, they know they aren't going to be held accountable, and they just go on with their thieving. Imagine you have a little business and you're going along day to day, you work hard, and then the IRS one day just comes and takes all your money.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what they do it to. They do it with usually to people that have no involvement with law enforcement at all, that never been in trouble a day of their lives. So, be good and stay out of trouble, and the police are on your side? Bullshit.
No. No.
You're almost in more danger.
That's not necessarily true there, yeah. I mean, because, criminals only respect, well, maybe not. I mean, criminals only, want to foment other criminals, really. It's just, this whole society is degraded down to a little nub now. So,
well, before the drug war, criminals that went to jail were usually violent criminals that need to be put behind bars. Once they brought the drug war into effect, there are so many. Yeah, there are so many innocent people in prison that some of them never did anything but have somebody mad at them and point the finger at them.
That's right. Like a girlfriend wanting to get back at her boyfriend. There's so much of that crap just everywhere. You want to hurt somebody, then say, they were, attacking you or whatever. He beat you up. I mean,
you don't even have to face them after you do it to them because you're protected.
Right.
You're that witness, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They'll put out a restraining order and everything, even without any proof. Right. All you gotta do is just say it.
Well, yeah, and what it is they brought up when they had, there's snitches and stuff. Well, we can't have them come in and testify because it'll put his life in danger because they'll retaliate
exactly.
to them.
Yeah, we got to protect them.
Mm-hmm. And we used to have a great judicial system, but now I would hate to go in front of a court now because the prosecutor's conviction rate is like 99 point something. I mean, that's unreal. And it's all because
that all depends. I mean, it depends on where you're at. I mean, I wouldn't say across the board they were all 99 point something.
I don't know. I very seldom go or hear about a case where someone was found innocent. And I know for a fact that when you get arrested, they try, like with my friend, they scared her to death. Like, we're going to put you in prison for 12 years. You won't see your children anymore. Someone else is going to raise them unless you take this deal. And, they take you out of your element. They put you in a room where they're going to interrogate you away from anything familiar and then just scare the hell out of you. And that's how they get 99 point something. Yeah.
Well, no, it's not even like, I don't know if that's like when sure they're going to convict you if you take a deal, but I mean, I don't know. There's definitely, I wouldn't go as high as to say it's 99%, though.
Trust me.
I really wouldn't. I mean, look at Hutari. Those guys.
They were lucky. Most people do go to jail because even if you're innocent, they will convince you to say you're guilty so that they won't put you in prison or
that.
Yeah, and that's how they get their conviction rates you know, in that video, Snitches, and I watched, that is an awesome video, and everyone should watch that, because people that have never committed a crime at all, and even the prosecutor will know they're innocent, will make them a deal to say, you say you're guilty for this,
Right.
and then, you know, and that's how they get their 99% conviction rate, because they scare people into not taking it to trial.
Right. I mean, that happens in a hell of a lot. I realize that. But where at in the facts does it say 99% conviction rate? I don't think it's that high.
I can tell you, I've been watching this for ever since the drug war started, and it is that high. It really is. I mean, go to a courtroom and sit in a courtroom for a day and see how many people are found innocent. A small handful.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just one courtroom for one day. I mean, you'd have to. I mean, where's all the statistics compiled about it? I mean, do you have a thing for that?
I don't have it right. It's on my other computer, but I do have just statistics to prove it. And look at our prison population. How do you think it got that big? Not all those people are innocent.
Oh, I know, and those statistics don't lie at all. We've got the biggest prison population anywhere in the world, even over China, and that's crazy.
And they all had to have been found guilty, you know. And I don't know, even people, you know, when you watch some of the, like, okay, here's one for instance. Look at Kelly. Remember that got beaten so badly by those cops, and we've seen the video of it and everything?
Yeah.
They went to court. They got off.
Oh, I know.
You know, cops lie, and everyone knows it. They call it test the line in L.A. They have names for it. And if you don't agree to get up in court and lie about your case to make it, you know, to get a conviction, you're out. The cops turn on you and everything. They lie, anything to make the case.
Yep, that absolutely happens.
Yeah, but I mean, every day I know so many people that got busted, and first thing they do is try and make them a deal, so they'll say guilty, because all that prosecutor wants is lots of conviction so he can move up the ladder. He doesn't care if you're innocent or guilty.
Right. Well, that's what it's about. It's a giant meat factory.
Mm-hmm. You know, and in California, they keep talking about, oh, you know, we're going to bring down, you know, we got to empty our prisons and this. And what do? They release the violent criminals and non-violent in prison, because non-violent people are easier to control and will work harder in their prison factories.
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, they've been caught, like, releasing all these people across the border. Yeah, illegals. They're not even immigrants. They're freaking.
Well, no, they're released here into, what is it called, ICE or something like? I think it's ICE. They're released here into ICE that deports them, and then they come right back.
Well, no, they're ushering them to all the points of the U.S. They're just not talking about it in the media anymore. They haven't slowed down that process. That process has not slowed down one little bit. They're just not telling us about it. That's the only difference. It's still happening.
Right now, I'm going through all Obama's executive orders to try and get an article together. And yesterday, the last one that I downloaded was about his immigration executive order. And I haven't read it yet, but I think it's going to be quite interesting.
Did he put it out yet?
Yeah, it was released just a little while back. But they don't, very seldom do they announce his executive orders, only when it's playing into the media, because I'm on page 7 of just his executive orders, and there's like 30 pages.
Really?
That I need to go through. Yeah. Lots of little, you know, and they'll put it on the White House's webpage, but how many people go to the White House webpage and read these executive orders that are in place?
Not many.
Right. And I mean, even for the simplest thing, when I get the article done, it should be interesting. You know.
I'm not seeing an Obama executive order on immigration.
Oh, really? Okay, here, I'll bring it up for you. And then, did you go to the White House to their executive orders?
No.
Okay, let me see. We have, let's see, quarantine. Oh, they are quarantine executive order, ensuring lawful interrogations, executive order, national security executive order, recruiting and hiring students and recent graduates executive order. I mean, they have reducing prescription drug shortages executive order. I mean, these things just go on and on. And let me see. You find something else while I try and find the one on immigration.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm actually there, so...
Well, you had like 30
see.
pages to go through.
Holy crap, man.
And these are just his. Well, some of them are ones that other, like, okay, every president, when he comes in office, has the ability to take away any executive order that was done prior to his. Like, he did revoke the stem cell that Bush put in place. He revoked that so that now they can. So, but most of these, you find that what they do is they add more to them instead of, changing any of them. Let me see.
I found one. It's just a white paper, though. It's not a. It's not an executive order. This is just a white paper. It says "Building a 21st Century Immigration System," May 2011. This is from 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Maybe I should read, like, I don't know if I want to read it. It's scary.
I know a lot of these are real scary.
I mean, yikes, man. It's just a bunch of BS and propaganda, and basically it's just a white paper.
Yeah, that's not one of the executive orders in that.
I don't think there is an executive order on immigration.
There is, and I'm trying to find it because I read it yesterday. Okay, let me go up here.
Call to action. Yeah, I won't even go into that, but I mean, they've got some weird stuff on there. I mean,
Okay.
I'm looking in in immigration, the site they've got for the White House, and I am not seeing anything on here about it.
Okay, I was just reading it. It was one of the last ones that I read yesterday.
This is so weird. It says, how do you fix a broken immigration system so everyone plays by the rules? Big old question mark at the end of that.
Read that.
President Barack Obama's common sense immigration reform proposal has 4 parts. It says, continuing to strengthen border security. I'm like,
It is funny, huh?
I mean, it is. It's hilarious. And then it says, build on the progress we've made since President Obama doubled the number of Border Patrol agents. Really? And then it says, enhance the infrastructure and technology that strengthens our ability to remove criminals and address the national security threats. Well, I'm glad he wrote that down, or somebody wrote that down and posted it on the White House .gov/issues/immigration. This is where you can find this little thing I'm reading up from. Why in the hell did they just release a bunch of high-level murderers, rapists, and child molesters into the streets of the U.S. through their wide open border security policy? I mean, why? I mean, that whole thing that I just read is a bunch of BS. And they literally, it just seems to me like it's complete Orwellian, because whatever they say, the opposite, they do the opposite, because the opposite is the thing that's actually true. It says, the next thing says, cracking down on employees that hire undocumented workers. And then the little bullet point says, hold businesses accountable for knowingly hiring undocumented workers. And the next one says, give employers who want to play by the rules a reliable way to verify that their employees are here legally. I mean, even that's a load of crap. It's amazing. This Orwellian thing is just so, it's like looking and reading this thing, but the exact opposite of what they're saying here is what we find to be the truth. So, and the next one, what?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
The next one says creating a path to earn citizenship. And then here's the bullet point. Provide undocumented immigrants a legal way to earn citizenship so that they can pay their taxes and play the same rules as everyone else. What is the deal with these rules? I mean, is it rules that they're just pulling out of their asses? There's been laws on the books for a long time. Are they talking about those rules? Whose rules are we talking about here? The next bullet point says, require undocumented immigrants pass national security and criminal background checks, pay taxes, and a penalty to go to the back of the line and learn English before they can earn their citizenship. This whole thing is a joke. The next point of his 4 points of Barack Obama's stated intent, yeah, right, says number 4 is streamlining our legal immigration system. And then it says to establish a simple and efficient legal immigration system that rewards anyone willing to work hard and play by the rules. So they keep citing these playing by the rules type crap, but it's the rules that they're pulling out of their asses when they decide it's convenient for them. That's what rules they're playing by. They're not playing by any of the laws that are written already on the books and have been for quite some time. Come on, what the hell is going on around here? It's just so dystopic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They put out this propagandist bullcrap and then do the exact opposite.
Oh, Hook found the statistics. I was wrong by 1%. Oh, it's over 98% conviction rates.
Oh, okay. Well, 98.
It is scary. It's very
98
scary.
Better than 99. I didn't think it was 99.
Yeah, 1%. And that's just a statistic. No, okay, I found a thing on it. It says President Obama will postpone action on his promise to remake federal immigration policies through executive authority until after the midterm elections in November.
Yes, that's what I thought.
So, yeah, I would like to see what all it holds, you know, in it. But I guess they aren't even going to show it until after. So that's, I guess, what I was reading, that he's going to wait until after the elections because he knows, you know, doesn't that tell you they know people aren't going to like it?
Well, yeah, and he needs to wait till after the elections to see if the Dems still hold the Senate. So,
and they know it's illegal because if they did it, people would go, "Wait a minute!" So they know they're wrong right then and there. They're admitting, "Hey, we know this isn't going to go over well. We know we can't make it a law, so we're going to do it this way only after the elections."
Right. Oh yeah, and he knows it's political suicide, so to do it before the elections.
Yeah, and what does he care? He's gone his way out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Jules was posting those executive orders about the antibiotic resistant executive orders, and I didn't get a chance to really delve into that. I had to work, but I
have it.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. A revised list of quarantinable, diseases, and I mean, he did a bunch of them just here recently.
Yeah.
Wait, where is that one?
As recently as August, I think.
And also, he did an executive order in reducing prescription drug shortages. I mean,
really?
Yes. I mean, how do you make an executive order? You know, unless you're going to say, hey, no more testing, just, you know, we need more drugs, so just put them out there. But it says,
sure that there's never going to be a shortage. That's interesting.
Executive order, one, and he did this one back in 2011.
Oh.
Yeah, you know, it's reducing prescription drug shortages by the authority vested in me as president. By the Constitution, the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered as follows. Shortages of pharmaceutical drugs pose a serious and growing threat to public health. While a very small number of drugs in the United States experience a shortage in any given year, the number of prescription drug shortages shortages are becoming more severe as well as more frequent. The affected medicines include cancer treatments, anesthesia drugs, and other drugs that are critical to the treatment and prevention of serious diseases and life-threatening conditions. So, you know, I'm sure if we read the whole thing, and this is a long one, so I'm not going to read the whole thing.
I actually remember that. Remember, like a few years back, that there was like, oh no, it's a shortage of this particular cancer drug. Oh my God. So I didn't really realize that he like, there was just a little, it was barely a blip on the radar. But I didn't realize he like had to spring into action and write an executive order. I mean, what the hell?
Right. And what it is I don't see how I can say there's a shortage because they have that thing called the fast track.
Right.
Where you and I, if we discovered something that cured something, we couldn't afford to do it. They sometimes pay $1 to $2 million to have a drug pass through, and they don't do their own investigation on it or nothing. They just pass it through. The more money you have, the faster it's going to get out on the market.
Absolutely.
And that's why we have so many dangerous drugs out there. Well,
especially if there's a crazy freaking virus called Ebola around, they're just going to fast track any kind of vaccine.
Right, and we'll go experiment on the brown people because, you know, we can.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So, and in that article that I just I didn't even read it. I didn't even want to. But where Ebola can survive on surfaces below
50.
Yeah, for 50. Freaking 50 days. Oh my God.
But you know what Jules was getting at too. I mean, the Friday was it is airborne in lower degree temperatures whenever your mouth makes condensation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, and it can go up to 3 feet.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, what is it? 10 foot with a sneeze.
By the way, in the chat room, before the first cup on UCY.TV's chat room, she's got Jules put in the UV air purifier.
I bought mine yesterday. Well, I ordered it.
Right on. I'm gonna get mine hopefully here for Christmas soon. And that's and like if you guys use that little swivel thing down there, the air purifier pops up now. So it's really a cool deal, and it's on sale right now. So
that's a great deal. My roommate ordered one too.
Nice.
Yeah. And two, it also if you smoke, if you have pets, I mean this is an awesome for the price. You can't beat it.
Oh, I know. I'm kind of flipping out because I want to get mine right now too.
I know, and with Dr. McCullough going, you know, and he does a great presentation, and I trust him.
Yes,
I like very rarely trust a doctor. Yeah, very rarely.
He rocks.
Yeah,
I like Dr. McCullough a lot, and he was talking about the UV totally killing most viruses.
Right. He had that guy that has researched it for 18 years and found that it you know.
I mean, I
So,
looked at that video, and it's these naturopath doctors, these real naturopath doctors, that are going to the affected nations in Africa with their UV light blood oxygenation therapy and vitamin C. And I bet you they're going to start freaking curing people right and left. And
the government doesn't want that. The pharmaceutical companies are terrified.
Yeah, I mean, especially at the results. And he was like, I'm not afraid to go into the thick of these things. Me and my staff every single day are going to have blood, oxygen, UV treatment therapies, and vitamin C. And I am confident that we are going to not get any of these diseases at all and treat other people as well.
And the man's that has been his only research has been on this subject. So
it's not Dr. McCullough. It was another doc he was interviewing.
Right.
So, just want to get that straight.
Yeah, but I mean, and when he's he breaks it down for you. And now that is where I appreciate someone, and I will listen to them if they don't just say, well, I've come up with this cure for this and it does this and does that. No, this doctor broke it all down exactly what the ozone does to the virus itself.
Mm-hmm.
It was very interesting.
MRSA as well, it takes care of that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
man. And I'm not one prone to spend my money on things. I usually go to the secondhand store. But he really convinced me.
Yeah, yeah.
And go get your vitamin C, people. I mean, I'm taking 1,000 milligrams a day.
I think Jules has vitamin C on here, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, if you don't have a health food store close by, you want to get the organic stuff. And your silver, and just start getting your body healthy now.
And go through UCY.TV to get it.
Every time. Go to Amazon through there.
Yep, right through the Jules Picks widget, and everything's right on there that you need. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Get us healthy so that we don't have to fear this.
Right. If you have a strong immune system and you're active and stuff,
wash your hands.
Yeah. Well, I've also learned about, my roommate has taught me about thieves' oil, essential oils and stuff. That kills anything. I saw it kill mold and mildew like it was nothing off my leather coat.
That's amazing.
Yeah, off my leather coat. My coat had been sitting on my my closet door the whole summer. When I went to move it, the whole thing was covered in mold and mildew, and it freaked me out. And I took some of the thieves' oil, and it melted off like butter, and it hasn't returned. Just amazing, just absolutely amazing. And they've got cleaner, and they've got hand sanitizer with thieves' oil in it. So because
now, how are you spelling that? Not like a thief, a crook, but
yeah, actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's actually Young Living Aromatherapy. I think that's right. And they've got thieves' oil in there, and you can put a little bit on your tongue. She says you can put it on your feet, on the bottom of your feet, if there's viruses around, you know what I mean?
It seems like if you put a little on your tongue, it could kill fungi in your system.
Yes, it does. And there's actually a toothpaste that they've got, a thieves' oil toothpaste. There's a mouthwash that I want to get. They've got, like I said, the hand sanitizers. When you use the regular stupid clear hand sanitizers, the crap that's in there makes your muscles atrophy, they're not being used. It makes them seize up and literally regress. So you don't want to use all the hand sanitizers that are out on the market.
Oh no, they're only good for until they dry. you
Well,
know,
it's not even that, but the chemicals that they use in them like make your
alcohol.
muscles like seize right up, and it's after long prolonged period of use with those stupid things, your hand's gonna get all jacked, and when you become old, they're gonna stay like that. You know what I mean? That's what that crap does. But with this Thieves hand sanitizer, it's all natural, and there's none of that muscle atrophy to worry about. Plus, it does a good job sanitizing stuff. You can totally use it as a sanitizer as well.
Right, and I use hydrogen peroxide to sanitize too. The food
Yeah,
grade,
the food
that and
hydrogen
it goes.
peroxide's good.
Yeah, it goes a long ways. I just picked apples yesterday. I was out there for a couple hours, and I got enough. I'm going to take some down to the homeless people that don't have. I'm sure they don't get enough fruit, so I'm going to take a box down there. But I make it into 3%, and I fill my sink full, and I clean all my fruit with that because if you're out there picking your fruit, look around. You're going to see traces from the chemtrails on your trees.
Absolutely.
Always wear gloves when you're getting your fruit off your trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez, it just sucks. You have to wear gloves to pick fruit.
I know.
This is the crap that's on it. I mean, what?
Yeah, and then the trees and stuff. It's scary. I mean, you go around town, take a good look at your trees. You'll see trees that don't normally peel off, like birch and them, they roll off, and that's normal. But most trees don't get rid of their bark, and now you're going to see them. We went out in my field, and we seen big patches of gray.
Did you take pictures of it?
Oh, I can. I mean, and a lot of the trees that have that are the ones that broke in the windstorm.
Oh.
It's killing, and then the tops of the trees are dying.
Yeah, yep.
The aluminum, but it's all the way down on the trees that don't normally shed their bark are shedding their bark, and it's devastating. And now we're seeing this white, it's not even a fungus, this white stuff around the base of our trees, and they're not producing now.
Really?
Mm-hmm. My apple trees only produced maybe a third of what they did a few years back.
Jeez.
And there's this white, it's almost like somebody went in and painted it, but it's around almost all my fruit trees.
That's bizarre, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a few weeks ago, the trees looked really, 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 really pretty. There was some heavy, heavy reds, really bright yellows. Now we're kind of like at our peak down here right now, but now the leaves just are doing what they've done for the past 10, 15 years since the chemtrails, but they die right there on the branch before they even fall. I mean, it used to be that the leaves would just turn color and then they would fall, and not there's like all these dead leaves everywhere.
We don't even see autumn leaves here anymore.
Yeah, see,
they just don't see them.
Jeez,
they're either dead or they're. I mean, on my trees they're all still green, and yet they're weakened because those. I've never had branches like this fall, and we've had a lot of windstorms here, and it was shocking. And my friend's house, God, I mean, their tree, and it was a big tree. I wouldn't be able to put my arms around the base. Wow. It literally uprooted and fell on their house.
Jeez, man, that's scary. Did anybody?
Yeah, the root system was almost deteriorated.
I hope no one got hurt.
No, they didn't, but there a lot of damage.
Well, heck yeah. I mean, so it was like in the middle of the night, though, right?
It was early morning,
and
ours, luckily, it just fell across our driveway. It didn't fall on the house. But, I mean, bombardment, and you didn't go outside. Those acorns were flying like 50 miles an hour. They would sting like crazy when they fell. And when the next day when we got up, you look outside and there was nothing but brown. My whole yard, everything is solid acorns.
Really?
Yep. The most I've seen in years. And usually when you get a lot of acorns like that, it's going to be a very harsh winter.
Yep. Well,
So we'll
remember
see.
what Jules said about that. When a tree is about to go, they're gonna, like through drought and
Produce,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna produce like stuff to keep their species going.
Well, that too, and then if you go into the Farmer's Almanac, almost always before a really heavy winter, you will get loads and loads of acorns. I don't get this many every year.
So I wonder if it's gonna be like cold, cold, cold for you guys there, but no precipitation.
That's what I was, because like with this storm, I mean, there was thunder, there was lightning, there was wind, but you could stand out there and not really get wet. It was almost like a sprinkle.
Wow.
Off and on. But then up north of us, they got a little more rain, but nothing like a storm like that should have produced. So I don't know.
Exactly. I mean, that's bizarre, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not normal.
And as the storm was moving away in the wind, they were spraying above it.
Yeah, okay, yesterday it started out a beautiful, beautiful blue sky day, and I was noticing all of the planes that I saw had the dissipating behind contrails. Now, by the time the mid-afternoon rolled around, there it was in the western sky. It was just layer after layer after layer after layer, back, forth, east, west, east, west, east, west, east, west, lines all the way up the entire freaking sky as far as the eye can see, and this giant white layer of clouds that preceded it. And it's just, oh my God, it was just, I don't know, man. They're really messing with us. They're messing with the entire ecosystem doing this.
When they spray like that, if you have any small ponds or whatever, go out after a heavy spray a day or two after, and you're going to see this film on top of your pond.
Yeah, I've seen I've seen the webbing. I've seen the floating webbing too.
And if you look at it, I mean, there's a distinct difference between a chemtrail and a spider web under a microscope.
Oh, yeah.
At the naked eye, it looks normal. It just looks the same. But you put the two under a microscope, and I do it all the time, there is a definite difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that webbing that a lot of people always think about, because like down by the river, you've always seen all the spider webs on, the bushes and stuff. But you can distinctly tell the difference. So people that tell you all those webs, they're just, they've always been there. No, and it's just like the chemtrails when people go, oh, those have always been there. No, they haven't.
Right.
Yeah. And people are starting to realize that now. I mean, when you get up in the morning, you have a beautiful day, and by noon you don't have no blue, there's something going on.
That's right, exactly. Look up, and nobody wants to look up anymore,
Well, I have my sign out in front of my house. I always take it to the marches and stuff, but it has this Mickey Mouse hand that on a stick that points up with the banner saying "Look up." And,
oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I leave it out all the time. I have it all encased in plastic, and it's always out there to remind people, look up in the sky.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, but
that's pretty cool.
And a lot of people have come back to me, even from a ways back, even recently, that they never noticed, but then they started looking up in the sky, and now they're going, holy shit.
Whoa.
How did I miss that?
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's the whole sky. It's not just, a couple trails or this or that, or you get some clouds in. It is the whole sky, crisscross and spreading out, and they're starting to notice this Look Up campaign is working.
That's a cool little sign that you've got. You should take a picture of it.
Oh, I have pictures of it. I will.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, just sticking out of your grass. That's pretty cool.
Well, I have it attached to my fence out front. But,
oh, okay.
And I live at, people turn down my street here sometimes to get to the freeway if they miss the other turn and they go down my street. And when we have the races on Saturday, we have NASCAR. I get a lot of traffic, and they all see that sign.
Oh, that's great. NASCAR traffic. I get NASCAR traffic in front of my house, too.
You know, people should go to SkyderAlert.com and check out their map there. And it lists by the minute how many pictures they're getting from all over the world of the chemtrails.
Really?
Oh, yeah, the map, and it shows, like, you click on one, and it'll say Australia, and another one's from Belgium, and from California, and from New York. And people are clicking those, and those are people that are sending those straight to their representative all over the world.
Interesting. I didn't know that they had that little feature on there.
Oh, yeah, and every minute you'll see it all day long. People sending pictures from across the planet.
Does it say map?
Yeah,
where it says map on there?
Go to
SkyderAlert.com.
Right, and you can also go to photos, and you see.
Oh, check that out.
I post pictures on there all at least 4 or 5 times a week of pictures you take of all the chemtrails, and you post them in there.
Wow.
You know, you think, like, we're the only ones. No, UK's being hit hard. Australia's being hit hard. I mean, it's global. And then you realize how big this really is. So it's Skyder, SKYDER, alert.com.
And it totally shows you all of the... I should have taken pictures of that last night then.
Yeah, and you take a click.
It was pretty freaking hardcore.
Yeah, if you click it, the one, you know, the where it says it's from, then it shows you on the map a little picture of what they sent in.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
But you have to get the app for it to go to your congressman. Like the way we think of it, that's all evidence. You know, they can't deny it when they're bombarded with all of these, and they go straight to your representative, whether it's in the UK or here. Like mine would go to Feinstein and Boxer, and they're just being bombarded.
I hope so. Those two need to be bombarded.
And the app is free.
Yeah, I've actually got the app on my phone.
Yeah, so take these pictures. All it is a click of the button.
And I should have taken pictures like yesterday, but I didn't. I didn't do it. Although I do have some pictures of it.
Yeah, I take mine with my camera because I've refused to use one of those phones. I use a throwaway phone, they're called. You know, I just buy time and put on it, no tracking or anything on it.
Yeah.
But I have my camera that I take lots of pictures. It's always with me.
Interesting. I will, I'm going to drop that in the chat room so people can go to it and check it out.
Right, and, you know, it's a free app. And it draws attention. You know, I post that everywhere, SkyderAlert.com. Because, and it's fascinating. Sometimes I'll sit there for a while and go through the whole list for the whole day, and it's 24 hours a day.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good, that's good, that's good. Hopefully we can push back the tide with stuff like this, little tools that we could all use.
Yep.
So... You
know, so then you could say, you know, if it ever comes up, well, to your representative, well, hey, you have pictures. You've been shown that it's going on, but they've all been told not to say anything, of course.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for a letter back from the guy who was supposed to get the responses from our sending messages to our representatives. I still haven't heard from him. I got to send another letter.
Jeez. Man, oh man.
It's okay. We're having another meeting next month, and there's going to be someone from the board there along with some experts on it. And we're going to hit them with what's going on here. Why haven't you done more?
Yeah. Exactly. Well, you got to keep on them. I mean, they think that just because they had a meeting about it and, everybody had their say, they think it's all over now. You know, they don't have anything to worry about anymore.
Yeah, and they were, you know, the thing about it was, I mean, a lady flew all the way from Spain to talk. And there were so many people there, and they were genuinely interested at the time. And so I thought, of course, well, they're going to do what they say. But when I found that all they sent was that one little paragraph, didn't attach any documentation, and just sent the DVD, which no congressman's going to sit there for 5 hours and watch the whole thing.
Right.
So, yeah, it's going to be interesting.
I hope so. Cross the fingers that something somewhere can be done about this crap. Because, I mean, really, they think they're doing it to stop global warming.
Why won't they say that then if they really believe that? And I don't see how any congressman...
Isn't that their go-to? Isn't that their go-to excuse, though?
Well, yeah, but not from your congressman usually. Usually they say, well, I'm sorry, I have no information on this.
Sure.
Or, they have that form letter they send out. But how can they say, oh, I didn't know about that? When
they can't.
They've gotten letters and everything else.
Well, because of the Skyder alert alone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They can't say that they weren't aware of this issue because people are sending in freaking photographs of it by the hundreds of thousands.
Right, and people call in about it, and people, but you always get the form letter back. And I have my responses to Feinstein, which, we go round and round.
How many form letters have you ever gotten from her?
Oh, my God, I could fill a whole file full if I kept them. I usually burned them. But, yeah, and usually a lot of times now I get the form letters in form of an email. I used to get snail mail letters from her. But, and I just respond to her anymore. I just put liar or fraud or you're an idiot. And I don't like calling names, but it just gets to you after a while when you get that same damn form letter again and again and again.
Right.
And one
should have saved them all and then send them all back to her.
Yeah, print them all up.
in a giant box.
Yeah. Well, I could go back and print them up, I guess. But and then even our representative for our district, La Mafia, I call him Mafia, but it sounds just like it. This one chick sent him a letter, asking for his response as to what this is all about and everything. He sent back a letter with probably 5 paragraphs and never once touched her subject. And at the bottom he said, it's my pleasure to represent you.
Yeah, it's some rehearsed thing that they've already got, all printed.
I never even addressed the issue, even said anything about what she wrote about. And that's what gets me more than anything else is the form letters. That's why I usually call. If you can get through. Very seldom.
You get through. Even if you did get through, it's just some secretary. They're not going to hear about it.
Through to the representative. And if you do send snail mail, which I do when I really get pissed, make them sign for it. Him or her.
Yeah. Make it, yep. You can add a couple of dollars to your, and have them sign, yeah.
It's not even a couple. I think it's only about 98 cents or $1 just to have them sign. But then to keep that, because if you ever come about it, face to face or whatever, here, you signed. You did receive my letter.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. You see, look, I got your signature here.
Yep. And then they can't say they didn't see it because the secretary cannot sign that.
Oh?
No, when you demand a signature and you're paying for a signature for the person you addressed it to, they have to sign it.
Right. Oh, all right. Well, there you go. That's the best way to do it then.
If everyone would do that, just think how busy that congressman would be with a big stack of mail. I love it. With a big stack of mail around him, where you can't even see him back there having to open them all.
That's funny.
That gets rid of their denial.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Although I've done that and never really got a response, but I know they got it at least.
Right.
Yeah. And it's a good habit. Whenever you talk to anyone about anything like that, always put down their name and what time you call, because that's the only proof, because they'll say, oh, well, I didn't receive that, and I don't know who you could have talked to. But if you have their name, because if you call something and you go, well, I talked to this person, oh, well, I can't help you then.
Sure.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, they're in the game of rebuking and, denying and dancing around subjects. They're in that. That's what they're getting paid for.
I know, and it's amazing to me, some of the higher ups and some of the companies, when you call and actually speak with them, they're idiots, and they come up with the most outlandish answers that I mean, I've been floored a few times, you know. Like one time they said I used more power at my house when I was gone than when I was home.
Oh, I remember that, right.
Yeah, yeah, and how do you argue with that? And then there was another one. It was the water company. They charged you for a service that you didn't even ask for, and they left that charge there unless you called and told them to take it off.
Right. Yeah, that's what they'll do. That's exact. If you don't challenge it, they'll just, gladly accept that extra money.
Oh yeah, and the trash service here, they tried to tell me that if your house is empty, like if you're a landlord, if the house is empty, you still have to have garbage service. And I called for my landlady, and I said, excuse me, and they go, well, it's an ordinance. And I said, what is the number of that ordinance? And they left me on hold. Finally, they came back on, and they go, it's going to take a little while for me to find it. Can I call you back? I gave them my phone number, and they thought that was the end of it. Well, I call back every day. There was an ordinance that you had to keep your trash picked up, but not that you had to use them. And then because I quit my service, because my landlady was going to take over the bill. And when I quit it, they said, well, where's your forwarding address? And I went, I'm not moving. Well, excuse me, you have to have garbage service. And I said, no, I don't. And that's how that all evolved. And she goes, this is actually what she said. Well, they'll be keeping a close eye on your house to make sure trash isn't building up.
Oh, my God, really? So you got threatened, then?
Yeah, more or less. I go, don't worry about it. It's taken care of. And I said, you better go back and rephrase what you tell people because you're flat out lie.
How, mafias operate. I mean, you're going to use us and no one else. You know what I mean? That's crazy. That sucks, man.
Your little little offices here locally, and they get away with it because, when first called, well, there's an ordinance you have to get your garbage service, and there's only one garbage service in the area.
Oh, so well, they've got the monopoly on it,
right? And I call them up on it. Okay, I want the ordinance number so I can go read it, and then they'll hem and haw and. Yeah, I called him on it, and I said, and I talked to the head of the garbage company. I said, you know what, you better retrain your personnel to not lie to people on the phone.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
What did he say when you said that?
He just said, yeah, we'll look into that right away.
Yeah, sure.
And most people would just go, okay, well, I'll pay that $50 every 3 months.
Right.
Even though nobody's using the service.
That's extortion.
It is. It's just like IRS coming and taking your money because you don't make enough to deposit the $10,000.
Right. That's extortion there, too.
There's so many ways there. Just every penny they can get.
They're nickeling and diming us to death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Destroying small businesses. I mean, if you can't make enough to deposit a full $10,000, that gets rid of all the little mama papa stores.
So what did Hillary say? Hillary Clinton. She said that if you have a business, you built that on someone else's back.
No, that was Obama.
I think he said something else. If you have a business, you didn't build that, but then recently, in the last few days, Hillary said that you broke someone else's back by having a business. I actually saw that.
Kidding me.
No, it's there. It's
even
there.
After all the flack that Obama got for saying that.
She said that. She's just a sick individual, and if she becomes president, man, we're hit.
Like her saying when Bill left the presidency, they were broke. You remember
I
that?
am more afraid of Hillary Clinton than I am almost the Bushes, and the Bushes are like the highest crime family this country's ever seen, and Hillary Clinton scares the living crap out of me, man.
She's a psychopath.
She is.
There is no human emotion in there.
Yeah, she's not the kind. She's just like the mother in the Manchurian Candidate with Denzel Washington. She's like she's like his mother. You know, that weird, sick, twisted, controlling bitch. Oh my god, it gives me the creeps.
They have so much money, they can buy off anyone. Just like, well, look at when she was going to have to testify in front of Benghazi committee. What did she do? Oh, she tripped and hit her head. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and what does it matter anyway?
Right, and then Bill Clinton goes, oh, well, she's fine now, no damage. Then why isn't she testifying now?
Exactly. Yeah, she should be raked over the coals and put in prison, not run for president.
Yeah, I dream of the day, and I wish I could find this this skit that was done. It was written out, but it was all about the day that the citizens had enough, and they all walked up into Washington and arrested everyone in there.
Wow.
From the president
was this?
It was a skit that and it was like, I've been looking for it all over and I can't find it, but it was I don't know, this guy was acting like a newscaster, and he's going, wow, did you ever think you'd see the day? And he was talking to different people and interviewing them as they're watching this going on, and they just arrested the president, the vice president, all the congressmen. They just arrested them all.
That's a nice hallucination. Very nice.
Yeah, it's a wonderful little story, and if I ever find it, we'll read it.
That's total and complete fantasy land. That's almost as dystopic as what I just read on the government's own White House site.
Right. We have that ability. We can do it. It's just a matter of getting enough people together to go in and put them under arrest.
There are enough people. There's enough military that are awake. There's enough cops and firefighters and everybody else that are, that see what's going on. It absolutely can happen. Does it happen? No. Does anybody get held accountable? No. I mean,
not yet, but
and how much more is this going to be allowed to go on until people start being held accountable, start going to fucking jail? Where they should be. I'm not going to hold out any freaking hope for that.
Politicians know we have the power to do that. Why do you think they're militarizing all our police?
Exactly. I don't hold any hope out for like the hallucination that they're going to march right up there and start arresting them. No, I don't,
I do.
I don't know, man.
I do, because
I think we have to be in the throes of a revolution before anything like that even gets considered.
Well, I think it's important to get that Executive Order 12919 out to everyone you can. I'm going to make flyers, and I am going to hand that out. It's you can type it up on one page of all those, everything that they're going to get control of if they declare a national emergency. I bet you maybe 1 out of 1,000 know about that. If that.
If that.
Mm-hmm. That should scare everyone. And especially that one part where they can separate your family if they feel the need that it's important. That reminds me of them taking away a slave's child and ripping her out of their arms to take him away. They've
already done that. They did that to the Japanese in the Japanese internment camps here on American soil.
People think it won't happen to them. They've put it into executive order. Now, you have to understand, too, executive order by itself is not a law.
No.
Until it can't even really be enforced, so I don't know why he does all these executive orders. But if a national emergency is called, it becomes a law.
Right, exactly. That's the danger right there. If martial law is declared, then all these executive orders go into direct action.
Right, and so you start going through all the executive orders that Obama does, but don't stop there. You have to go back to all these different presidents, because unless the president following them revokes one of their executive orders, they are all in effect.
I think didn't somebody go all the way back to like Lyndon Johnson?
Oh, before him, even all the way back. It goes on. Kennedy. He's the one that.
Oh, that's right. He did write. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's probably even before that. Oh my God! There's the end of the show. Well,
I didn't even see that coming.
Tuesday. It's Tuesday night, everybody. We're gonna have a great Tuesday night. Stay tuned to UCY.TV. Everybody have a great day.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Spread them around.